When a child is emotionally ignored by their parents, something very quiet but very deep begins to happen inside their mind. There is no big accident, no clear moment to point at and say, this is where it broke. Instead, it happens slowly, like a light that is never turned on. The child talks, feels, reaches out, but nothing meaningful comes back. Not anger, not comfort, not curiosity, just emotional silence. And a child does not think, my parents are emotionally unavailable. A child thinks something is wrong with me. That thought becomes the foundation of their personality. Every child is born with a simple need to be seen. Not just fed, not just protected, but emotionally noticed. A smile returned, a sad face understood, a fear taken seriously. These moments teach the child, my feelings matter. But when parents are distant, distracted, or emotionally cold, the child learns a different lesson. They learn that emotions are useless. They learn that asking for comfort leads to nothing. Over time, the child stops asking. This is not strength. This is adaptation, nervous system says. If no one responds, I will stop sending signals. Inside that child, a strange split forms. On the outside, they may look calm, independent, and mature. On the inside, they feel empty, confused, or strangely numb. They cannot explain what is missing because they never had it. You cannot miss what you were never given words for. They grow up thinking their emotional flatness is just their personality. But it is not personality. It is unfinished development. When parents do not mirror emotions, the child does not learn how to recognize them. Imagine learning a language with no one to speak it back to you. You may hear sounds, but you never learn their meaning. In the same way, ignored children feel something but cannot name it. Anger becomes tension. Sadness becomes tiredness. Fear becomes overthinking. Later in life, when someone asks them, how do you feel? They honestly do not know. This is not because they are broken. It is because no one taught them how to feel safely. As adults, these children often become very functional. They work hard. They help others. They stay quiet. They do not complain. People call them strong. But inside, they feel different from others. They watch people cry, attach, and depend, and they feel like they missed a class everyone else attended. Love feels strange to them. Attention feels uncomfortable. When someone gets close, their body becomes alert, as if closeness is dangerous. They may push people away without knowing why. Emotionally ignored children also develop a deep belief that their needs are a problem. So they become experts at not needing. They become self-sufficient to a painful degree. They say, I'm fine, even when they are not. They avoid asking for help, feel guilty when they rest. They feel weak when they feel. This is not because they want to suffer. It is because needing never worked before. In relationships, this creates a silent struggle. They want connection, but they do not trust it. When someone cares about them, they wait for it to disappear. They may choose emotionally distant partners because that feels familiar. Or they may feel trapped by kind partners because kindness feels unnatural. Their nervous system learned love as absence, so presence feels suspicious. This is how the past keeps living inside the present. What is most painful is that many of these people do not think they had a bad childhood. They say, my parents tried, or others had it worse. And that may be true. But emotional neglect is not about bad parents. It is about missing emotional connection. A parent can provide food, school, and safety, and still not provide emotional presence. The wound is not from harm, it is from absence. And absence is harder to explain. There is also a quiet grief in this experience. It is the grief of something that never happened. No memory of being held when scared. No memory of being understood when sad. This grief does not come with clear pictures. It comes with a feeling of something is missing. And many adults carry this feeling for years, without knowing why. But here's the truth that changes everything. The way these children adapted was intelligent. Going quiet, becoming independent, lowering expectations. All of this kept them emotionally safe at the time. Their brain chose survival over expression. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. Problem is that the brain does not automatically update its rules. It still thinks emotional connection is risky, even when it is no longer true. Healing starts with one decision: taking your own inner world seriously. For someone who was emotionally ignored, this feels strange at first. Noticing feelings feels uncomfortable. Sitting with sadness feels unsafe. Accepting kindness feels foreign. But these small acts are powerful. Each time you notice what you feel instead of pushing it away, you are teaching your nervous system something new. You are becoming the parent your brain never had. You do not need to confront your parents. You do not need to relive every memory. You need to build a new relationship with yourself. One where emotions are allowed to exist. One where needs are not punished. One where silence is not the only option. This is slow work. It is quiet work. But it is real work. If this story feels familiar, it is not because you are broken. It is because your mind learned to survive in a world where emotions were not welcomed. That learning kept you alive. Now it is time to learn something else. It is time to learn that your feelings are not too much. They were simply never answered. As this person grows older, the patterns become more visible. They may notice they feel uncomfortable when someone asks personal questions. Not because they are hiding something, but because they never learned how to answer. Their inner world feels private, even to themselves. They may feel emotions only when they are alone, late at night, when there is no one watching. During the day, they function on logic and routine. This is how they learn to survive without emotional support. One of the strongest effects of emotional ignoring is the belief that love must be earned. Since affection was not freely given, they assume it must be deserved through usefulness, success, or good behavior. So they become the helpful one, the reliable one, the one who never causes trouble. They feel valuable only when they are needed, not when they are simply present. This is why they feel empty when they stop doing things for others. They do not know how to exist without proving their worth. Another hidden effect is difficulty trusting their own feelings. When no one reflected their emotions back to them as a child, they learned that feelings were confusing and unreliable. As adults, they question themselves constantly. Am I overreacting? Is this really important? Do I even have the right to feel this? They look outside themselves for answers because inside never felt safe. This makes them vulnerable to people who tell them what to feel and how to think, yet there is something powerful inside them too. Children who were emotionally ignored often develop deep observation skills. They learn to read rooms, notice moods, and stay alert. They became emotionally intelligent in one direction, sensing others, but not themselves. This means healing does not start from zero. It starts from balance. Learning to turn that attention inward instead of only outward. Change does not come from forcing emotions. It comes from permission. Permission to feel tired without guilt. Permission to feel angry without shame. Permission to want comfort without judging yourself. Each time you do this, your brain learns a new rule. It learns that emotions do not disappear into silence anymore. They have somewhere to go. The goal is not to blame parents or rewrite the past. The goal is to understand the story your nervous system learned and gently teach it a new one. You were not ignored because you were unworthy. You were ignored because your parents had limits. That difference matters. It means the emptiness you feel is not proof of defect. It is proof of something missing that can now be built. If you were emotionally ignored by your parents, your life may have been quiet, but your inner world has always been loud. You just never had permission to listen to it. Now you do. And that is where real change begins.